This is the brown coconut. Your coconut's got to be brown. It's got to be brown, and it has to have liquid in it. And you listen for it like this. It's got to be like that. It's got to have the liquid in it. Now, first phase is opening the coconut like this. Point. You gotta hit it right on the point. Coconut's beginning to crack. Actually cracked the shell too.
Lulu, come here.
Crack here and here.
Let's just go walk down the beach and we can do the party wherever.
Can you see what's happening? Coconut's cracking. Shell is cracking. Now we open. That's it. We got the coconut. Here's our coconut. Yeah, good face, good shot. Got it. This is what we want. These are what we're going to use to make the oil with. Okay, we're now on phase 2 of this operation, which is getting the coconut loose from the shell. Now, this is a piece here that has the shell and the coconut. These are loose pieces right here. These pieces are what you need to work with. Now, in order to loosen it up, get in there on the edge. And pry. Sometime you get lucky. There we go. The whole piece just popped loose from the hard shell. So you do that with the whole coconut. Get all the pieces loose. Stick it between the shell and the coconut. Work it down in there. Bango, the whole piece came out perfect. Now maybe this piece. Now the plate of coconut that we're going to work with right here. Out of the shell, as you can see. Got some big pieces, little pieces. Now the next phase is to grate it, and we got to make a grater. Now, in Belize, I learned to get a piece of metal, drive some holes in it with a nail, which I just found on the street. And if you drive all the holes, you turn over the metal and you've got a homemade grater. So we can make a grater, we can do this, and we're going to grate it. That's the third phase of the operation. First one was opening it, the second one was getting the meat out, the third is to grate it. Well, the third would be to build the grater. The fourth one is going to be to grate it. So with this nail, And this coconut, we're gonna make coconut oil. Excuse me, that dried coconut's tough, man. We're gonna make some coconut oil with this nail and this coconut just for you. Coming up. Well, I just got a can and I have borrowed this from my newfound friend Steve and took out the rings. Now I gotta cut it right here. Take the nail, punch holes, and boom, got the grater. Phase 3, make the grater. Soon to be done.
Okay.
You go Botswana. South Africa.
Okay.
English.
Okay, this is it. This is where we go. I got my grater made. This is it, the little nail holes all over here. I left this part undone so I can bend it right here and have a handhold. So I'm going to do that, and then I got all the coconut right here, and I begin the grating process. But this is important. This is the grater, handmade grater. It feels just like a professional one. Okay, bend, and grate coming up. Hold it. Perfect. Now I take the coconut and I begin the grating process. Last of it. Well, this is it. This is all of the coconut. I can feel the oil in it. My hands are oily. This coconut will probably be classed as A positive coconut oil. Now we take this and we make the oil. That's the next and final phase. Okay, here we go. We put this in a bowl. I'm using this pot that we got in our kitchen. Cover with water. Coconut water is good to use, but when we were opening our coconut, we busted it, so we don't have any coconut water, but regular water will work. Just enough to cover it. Now, let that baby sit for a while. We're gonna go have a smoothie. We're going down to the
Salad.
and a salad. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna have a nice salad and a nice fruit smoothie on the beach while this soaks. Right now the oil's separating, but we're gonna let it sit for a while. So now the next phase is squeezing out of all the coconut. We do that. You squeeze it. This is some of the liquid and some of the coconut. Now we put this back in. we're going to make a second run. Taking all this coconut. As I added the water, I'm just stirring it up. Stirring it up, and I'm going to try to get the rest of the oil out of this coconut meat here. Repeat the process, squeezing out all the liquid that I can. All right, this is the final phase before heating the oil, and that's separating the liquid, getting out all the solids. Now, I didn't have a cheesecloth, which is the best thing to use, so I used this Mayan calendar tapestry that I'd bought in one of the Mayan ruins. So you see that we're just dumping all of the liquid that we've strained into the bowl covered by the cheesecloth. Hopefully you have a cheesecloth and you can just squeeze it out into the bowl, but we're straining it through this fiber thing here, and we'll be ready to go on to the next process.
You're gonna eat it?
Yeah, I just want to show for sure what this looks like. There's two ways you can go from here. You can let it separate cold and cold press, or however they call it, but it's actually the most virgin way to do it, is to just let it settle. But you have to do that for 20 hours, 24 hours overnight. And then you will see the separation. Now, the fast way to do it, not quite as virgin, but is to use heat, which we're going to do because we don't have time. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up and start our little mixture boiling. Now what will happen is it will divide itself into three layers. The liquid will mostly dehydrate, mostly evaporate the water, leaving the oil and a little mush like on top. And at that point we separate the two. We can spoon it off. The ideal way would be to pour that liquid into a clear bowl and then use like a baster or something, and where you could get in there and you could squeeze out the oil, suck out the oil, which will be there'll be a little bit of water left, perhaps oil, and then a little bit of mush. So we got to get the oil, which will be this middle layer of this. So right now we're going to let it boil and see how we do. See how much oil we get out of one coconut. Okay, I got two bowls here. This bowl is this is the mash, what I call the mash, which was floating on top, and as it was boiling, I ladled this stuff off. And then I put that into a little pan, and I cooked it down, and I got this much oil out of that. Now this is brown because I let it burn a little bit. I was watching the other pot, and I let this burn, but this is pure coconut oil, and that came out of that part there. That came out of the mash. But this is the real thing. This tastes like toasted coconut oil right now. Tastes yummy. Oh, tastes so good. Well, we're doing all this here in Mahahual, Mexico. A beautiful day in Mahahual. That's our product. Zach, you gotta taste this. Yeah. Taste it. Just taste a little, because we're gonna try to get the... No, taste it with your finger. Huh? Good. Really good, and I think. Back to the pot. Now this pot is boiling, and as you can see, there's oil on top. The water's slowly evaporating and leaving I can see the oil floating on top. And when all that water gets gone, there'll be nothing but oil, and hopefully I'll be keeping a good eye on it this time. I won't let it get burned. But that other is great. That other tastes like toasted oil, toasted coconut oil. Really yummy. We're getting to the very end of it now. It's getting right down there. This is a lot of oil and a little bit of water left. So it's soon gonna boil out. When it does, there'll be nothing but a pan full of oil here. It's getting close to the end. All this is oil over here in the corner. There's a little bit of water boiling out now. The last of the water. All that's oil. Okay, this is all oil. And now I'm going to ladle, I'm going to separate it one more time. Separate what is on top from the bottom. Is a little bit dirty. It's a little bit, still has a little impurities in it. So you just ladle from the top. Well, this spoon isn't working very well, so even though it's not my spoon, I don't think Steve will mind because I'll put it back later. But I'm just going to make it where I can ladle it really good. Now I'm separating the pure oil from that which is a little bit dirty. And normally it wouldn't bother me to have the oil of this quality to cook with. It's just fine. Fine to cook with, fine to put on your skin. Coconut oil is amazing. I really don't care, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it all back into this bowl, giving you an idea of what it's like, how much oil there is in a coconut. See? You see how much oil we have in there? That's out of one coconut. Okay. Now, there's one more little lesson. This is similar to the coconut we use. This is a very dry coconut. Yesterday, we found a coconut that was similar to this one, very dry. The meat was very dry. We normally would get more oil than that from a brown coconut that's not quite so dry. And it opened in a funny way. Normally, by hitting the point like that, you're going to split the coconut in three areas. One here, and one here. And then you can pull each of these sections away, and you can get the round coconut itself. Then you take that coconut with your machete and you pop it, medium blow with the blunt end of the blade, and you keep doing that, and the coconut inside will loosen from the shell and make it a lot easier to peel out of there. Instead of using the knife that I had the luxury to use in Steve's apartment, I usually use a machete. So you really got to get that loose. The machete is not quite as easy. You have more power, but still. Then you hit it enough times, it will weaken and it will form a crack. And once it starts to crack, then you crack it and take it like we did in the earlier demonstration. So that's it. Coconut oil from beautiful Mahahual, Mexico. It's an incredible place here. Incredible place that Steve has, that he's provided for us at Trapacanti. If you ever come to Mahahual, look up Steve and Maggie. Beautiful people, true givers and true unselfish people. They run this little business here, Trapacanti. It's They have an excellent restaurant there, and Steve will just help you. Steve and Maggie will show you the way, along with their kids, Jorge and Michelle. So come to Mahahual, eat coconut oil, use coconut oil to cook with, and I have to say adios, hasta luego. Maybe next time we'll show you something from Belize or Guatemala, somewhere in the world of the Maya. El mundo Maya wishes you que la vaya bien.